Your personal brand will make you $10,000 in profit every single month. If you understand that, you won't just make 10,000, you'll make millions.
That is Dusky Rogue. He's someone that understands personal branding very well. And maybe you haven't thought about how your personal brand affects your business, but trust me, it does. And Dusky's going to explain exactly how. To put a personal brand very simply, it's your reputation. If you have a good reputation, people are going to know that no matter what business you're in, no matter what service you provide, it's going to be quality. It's going to be done right. You won't take advantage of people. When we have a strong personal brand, we're going to get more referrals, we'll build trust faster, and people are going to want to work with your business because you are the owner. Personal branding goes far beyond social media, but that is a big part of it. So if you've ever wondered, should I post on social media? Is it worth the time? We are going to answer that question and much more right now on this episode with Dusky Rogue. This is Utah Hustlers, a podcast on how to build your business to $10,000 a month. My name is Skylar Beitendorf, and like you, I'm an entrepreneur, learning some of the best strategies to build ourselves and our business as quickly as possible.
My name is Dusky Rogue. I'm an investment broker, business owner, brand coach. My first 10K a month I made doing videography and photography first. All my contracts and everything paid me on a monthly basis. That's how I made my first 10K a month. Kind of realized that took a toll on my body and I had to switch it up from there. I actually traded NFTs for a long time. Well, that was kind of like the hype. I took advantage of this new trend, and that's actually how I made my first million. That wasn't really a viable source, and I was really kind of following a trend. I had to start learning how to make money with the money that I had so it could sustain me over a longer period of time.
And so now you just invest into businesses mostly, right?
Yeah, so I kind of started on two kind of ventures, and that was I really wanted to build myself up personally and understanding myself and what I stood for, my branding. And I really wanted to figure out, okay, what are the things that Dusky really wants to help people with? There was a lot of gurus out there when it came to making money. And I wanted to create a way that wasn't me being like, hey, come join me joining this guy. It was just come join me and we can cultivate, start making money together. The biggest thing that I found would help me make a consistent 10 grand was becoming the middleman in things that were successful. Kind of like your general contractor, right? You hire a general contractor, but then he subs it out to the guys that can actually do all of the work.
That's the best way to do it, is win while other people win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, I don't think that there's anybody out there that's really, truly going to find fulfillment and winning if you're not helping somebody else along the way.
Yeah. So we have a lot of business owners that are building their own like business brand. How does our personal brand affect our business brand?
I don't think that there can be a divide. Adidas split ways with Kanye West. His personal brand and things that he said affected his company so much that now Adidas doesn't even want to be associated with his company, right? We're in a day of age where before I go buy a jar of honey at my local market, I want to know the person that's making the honey at my local market, more so than the actual product. I feel like that there can't be a divide anymore. People are saying support local, do all these things. It's because they want to know the individual and they want to support an individual more than a company because they want to feel personal connection that the world just isn't getting anymore. Our whole lives are made to divide the individual from somebody else when all we want is to connect. So now when it comes to building a brand, a company brand, it's all going to come down to who you are as an individual. If you want to be really successful, your personal brand will be strong before you start a company. I have 5 companies. They're all built off of my brand, my personal. That's why when I come up with a new idea or I come up with a new thing, I know that success will be there because my personal brand supports it so hard that anybody else part of these companies will go with the next one because they're like, if it's Dusky, then I'm in.
And that's the thing is like a lot of entrepreneurs, they'll start with a business, but it's usually not the last business that they're going to start.
Yeah.
And your next business is probably going to piggyback off of that personal brand, that quality, and that, you know, that they're going to be buying you next. And so there is like, people want that personal connection. Like you said, is, you know, people buy from your businesses because it's you.
I mean, the number one thing is, would you rather watch a company that builds houses or watch an individual who shows you what he had to do every day to build a house? Right there on TikTok, some of the most viewed anything is not people being like, oh, I work at this cow farm. The company's brand is Cows Are Us. No, they follow Phil, who goes to work every day and shows you the cow Mary and pets it and milks her. And like, that's what viral and that's what builds them. So when Phil comes out with a cow t-shirt, they're going to buy his t-shirt more than the company coming out with their own t-shirt, right? Because his personal brand, they can connect. People want to connect with us. It's causing so much. It causes anxiety, depression, everything, because we're not connecting with other people so much. So personal branding is everything. I don't believe that you can build a successful company to this day, like from scratch, without a strong personal brand first.
So down to the basics, what is a personal brand?
I think you have to understand in personal branding that there's two parts. There's your personal, and then there's a brand. That's what I talk to in my coaching group, that your person and who you are, and the deeper you understand your core, is going to help your billboard of what other people see, right? Yeah. When I meet you for the first time, you don't know my hardships. You don't know what I'm sad about. You don't necessarily know what I'm happy about, but you do know what I show you and what I present on my billboard. That's personal branding right there. A lot of times what people need to understand is if my billboard isn't reflecting my personal, then what you're going to see is a damaged billboard in a way. And you're going to say, hey, something's kind of off here. Something's just not adding up with what he's presenting to me. And that's because I'm not in tune. When you're building a personal brand, I think the number one thing that you have to do is understand, okay, who am I? Who's Dusky? And you have to understand the things that you truly want in life and what the things that you truly cannot handle. For me, a lot of my personal issues come from things like abandonment, feeling left out, those kinds of things. So a lot of my personal brand is inclusion, being there for somebody 24/7, being able to communicate clearly so people don't feel that they're, being misled. When you're building that personal brand, you have to go all the way to yourself and say, okay, where am I? And then what do I like to wear? Well, I'm not going to start a clothing brand of really tight clothing because I don't wear tight clothing. This doesn't work. I can start another company, which I have another company, and be like, this is where I'm going to be. And then you're going to push tight clothing and all this stuff, and you're never going to wear it. You're never going to believe in it. It's not going to work out, So I think that's the most important thing, is you need to understand that personal branding comes down to two main sources, your personal and your branding billboard that you carry with you every single day. The more you can understand your personal, the better you can connect with the billboard that you're showing to everybody else.
So is our personal brand, it's basically just like what people are seeing and hearing from us. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say, personal branding is everything that somebody perceives of you. How to build a personal brand is from you within and making sure that what people perceive is the truth that they're seeing, right? Being unapologetically yourself and doing so in a lot more times in a professional manner, right? So you're not going to pick your nose, do these things, right, as a billboard, but you're personal at home. I don't give a crap, right? But it's when the morals come into hand that those need to match, and you need to feel that. So when you talk to me on social media, when you talk to me, when I pass you on the street, you instantly can tell, can I trust this person? But you're going to already make a decision, is this person safe in some well-being? Are they safe to talk to? Are they safe to be around, right? We feel that already from a perspective. It's almost like, in 3 seconds, somebody's going to judge you right away. Well, if I go to your Instagram and I see a bunch of random crazy stuff, here you're doing this, and then you're saying something totally opposite, well, then I don't associate myself with you because I don't know what I'm getting from your brand. I don't know what I'm getting from your personal. So you're a wild card that it confuses me, so I feel unsafe.
Right. So it sounds like people really want the consistency from you. They know that they're getting the same thing today or next month.
Any way that I communicate on social media, in person, my brand is consistent in making sure that the interaction you have with me right now and the interaction you have with me on social media is the same. Building a personal brand is definitely about consistency, but if your personal brand reflects your true self, that's not hard.
So what parts of us contributes to our personal brand? The way we dress, the way we speak?
Everything. I mean, just me right now, right? I'm wearing a hat I'm almost always wearing a hat. I'm wearing a hat with my brand on it, which just means I support what I build, right? I wear my logo all the time. I usually am wearing a gold chain that has an R on it that was gifted to me. You know, I generally wear all black. You know exactly what I'm going to wear. 80% of people in my life can tell you if my truck's going to be dirty on the outside or if it's going to be clean and why it was dirty. Because they know Dusky loves to get adventure. He loves to go out and do those things, and he loves to use his toys to do those things, right? Personal brand comes down to the way you walk. Personal brand comes down to, if I'm going to sit here and just like fold my arms and like communicate with you like this, right? Personal brand comes down to how much I talk in this podcast. There's so many things that personal branding comes down to that everyone's going to assume right away, right? If you and I walked out into Salt Lake and just like our personal beings, branding wise, people will be like, hey, this guy's doing something financially. He well-rounded, you know, could be LDS, you know, he's got a good looking watch, you know, X, Y, and Z. For me, they could be like, oh, this is just a kid who has tattoos. I don't really know what he does. He wears old school Osiris's. If they don't know me, they're going to assume, okay, his personal brand is, he looks very well put together, right? But what is it that he knows? My personal brand really takes hold when I open my mouth. This guy understands me because look at him, he's tattooed. He's gone through some things. He understands me on a deeper level. So yeah, personal brand comes down to every single thing. And you have to understand that, you know, the day I got a neck tattoo, that's not just like, woo, I got a neck tattoo, blah, blah, blah. Like that affects every single interaction I will have for the rest of my life. But that's a part of my brand. It's a part of who I am. So, and that's what builds and brings so many people to trust me. Because they're like, man, he's just authentic to him and he's going to tell me where the sun don't shine, even when he doesn't want to.
People want the real us.
Oh, yeah.
And what we wear speaks. What we wear is most important, like for that first impression.
Oh, yeah.
But what you say and how you act and how you treat people is what really seals in who you are and your personal brand.
Yep.
Right? Because like how we treat people and just being authentic is going to overpower anything we wear and our appearance. But at the same time, we got to pay attention to our appearance. We can't look sloppy.
Absolutely.
Got to look sharp.
Absolutely. And I always generally care a lot about the way that I look, especially when I'm going out and I know I'm going to be around people. I don't do anything that will go against my personal brand. Like I look put together. I look professional. I'm going to communicate with you and I'm going to make sure that I give you my best self. And you don't want to look sloppy, of course. I think that you just really have to stick with what makes you feel comfortable, because when you are in power, when your brand is there to shine, the sky's the limit.
It sounds like also activities that we participate in also build our personal brand.
100%.
Everyone knows you hunt.
That's true. Yeah. Especially because I never grew up hunting. Actually, in the last year was when I actually took up hunting, and I've had to learn it all myself. You know, my dad didn't hunt, but like my grandpa did. But my grandpa he passed away before I even knew what he looked like, right? But everybody now knows, okay, hey, for Dusky, when he's meditating or when he goes out and he does something, it's probably going to be doing something with a gun. When people ask, man, I wonder if Dusky likes guns or not, I guarantee you without a shout out, they're like, Dusky loves guns. I'm like, yes, I do. You know, and that comes down to that brand and what I'm willing to share of that part of my life.
Yeah.
A good buddy, Dan Fleischman, he tells people to share everything on social media. Share everything that makes you you. Share your family, share when you get a flat tire, share everything. Because the more that people can know and understand you and your personal brand, and that goes down to literally if your window's not rolling up for some reason, the better that they can connect with you, the more they'll invest with you and the more you'll have a raving fan that will follow any company you build.
What if we do something that's off-brand? Is there anything wrong with doing things out of the ordinary?
That's difficult because I feel like with my personal brand, part of my branding, you never really know what Dusky's going to get up to. That's kind of part of my own thing. Like literally this summer, I was in Alaska for 2 weeks and then I flew to Greece and I was in Greece for 2 weeks and then I was home and then I was doing this. That's kind of I'm everywhere. That's kind of my own personal. I think if somebody speaks to something that they don't fully understand, that's when they're going to start getting hurt with their brand. It's like Sean Whalen coming out and saying, guys, I think we need to get rid of AR-15s. I would be flabbergasted. He would lose a lot of people that were following him because now they feel that they were almost betrayed and that they don't fully understand them. So it's absolutely detrimental to do something against your brand. And I see that happening when you have put up a fake facade for so long that you almost have to do a restart and you have to fully break down your brand and say, okay, what do I stand for? What that would tell me is that you don't really understand you, which causes a huge problem, because if I'm following a leader and then all of a sudden I figure out they don't even understand who they are, or what they stand for, or what they want to be, well, why are they leading me? Why am I following them? Why do I believe in them? Why do I bring them into my group when now they're so left field, right? So absolutely, doing something out of your brand is detrimental. And a lot of times I don't think it's about doing something like going and shaking hands with Joe Biden, right? Hardcore Republican, but I don't think doing something out of my brand is like me being like, hey, I met the president today, right? I think it's more so me being like, I think good old Joe is the smartest president we've ever had. Everyone that's listening to this right now knows that. I would be lying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if that happens, that means you don't actually understand yourself and your personal brand is a lie.
Just be completely real.
Yeah, be real. Like, frick, if you're going to cry, cry. Don't try to be a freaking man. Just cry. Like, I've had to really learn this because I'm a person who wants to be accepted. I want friends. I want people to call me and say, Dusky, I want you to be around me. I crave that as an individual. That's something in my personality type. I crave people and fun. Now that I've recognized that, though, I can understand I love being around people, but people aren't always going to call me. That shouldn't throw me in a state of depression. What that should do is motivate me to be like, hey, if I want to be around people, guess who has the best power to do so? Me. I'm going to go and be like, hey, how can I help you? How can I be around you? How can I support you? How can I go to these events? How can I meet new people, make new connections? That's a proper brand. Not a proper brand is being like, well, no one invites me anymore, so I'm going to be depressed. Well, then you're going to just get more and more depressed because that's not authentic to you and your brand and who you are. And so you, as an individual that wants to grow this personal brand, the more authentic you are to yourself and understanding and take accountability of your brand is something that's so important. You need to be authentic and accountable, because that is where true power lies, in building an incredible business. You're going to quadruple the amount of money you make just by understanding your brand fully.
And this is relevant because everyone's building a business, everyone's building a brand. And so if your brand is you're honest, that you're accountable to yourself, that you have values, that you're authentic, they're going to want to buy from you. They're
100%.
They're going to buy from you because they know that if they work with you, and since you're accountable, they know you have a reputation of doing a good job. They're going to not just buy from you, but they're going to be more likely to send you referrals or to share your business because they know that you're also going to take care of their friends, their families, their neighbors. So it's huge. People understand what a personal brand is. How do they build it? How do they grow it?
Just really start with 3 things that you will not budge on. Non-negotiables that you will never, ever, ever give up.
What are those for you?
So mine is have fun, never lie, and be able to tell hard truths. And never lie and hard truths, they go very closely together, but I think they're a little bit different, because hard truths is when somebody keeps telling me one thing that I know isn't necessarily truth, I have the ability to be like, no, I just don't think that what you're telling me is 100%. Also, hard truths is I have a lot of people that don't like what I do, and they'll say, hey, I don't like this, this, and this. And I'll say, okay, what would you like changed? This, and this. Go to someone else. That's the hard truth. The hard truth is, I was talking to somebody yesterday who invests with me and wants to invest more with me. And they're like, hey, this is my time frame. And I said, simply, your time frame's not going to work past February, because one of my investments is getting taken over by a fund, and they will cap out my fund, and I won't be able to bring anybody else into my investment. So everything else up lead to that's great. But after that, no. Secondly, you need to understand that you project to everybody. There's first impressions. You need to ask yourself what that impression is, and if it's authentic to you. Just start to share you, and share things that make you different and that other people hate.
Okay, what other people hate? Talk more about that, because you're not going to have fans without haters. They just kind of go to...
Man, if you want to grow real fans, get haters first. Like, I'll tell you that right now. Like, I am the kind of person where I always just say how it is, and I will egg on a hater all day because I love it. Recently, I had somebody on my social media. They were hitting into me. She wants to like run for Senate or something. I don't know. I have no clue who this lady is. She just started to attack me, said that I was toxic masculinity, everything, which is totally not what I stand for in any way. She doesn't know me. But you all know the best way for me to reach more people? Comment back to her. Spend a moment and just be like, hey, I just think that you're just simply wrong. That's not who I am. That's not what I stand for. You don't know anything about me. More people are going to see that, and she's going to show more people that. I had this lady comment. I had 6 other people comment on her comment. They were like, you don't know Dusky. I just figured out right away who stands in my corner, who stands for my brand, my personal brand, not even just their personal brand, my personal brand. You need to share things that people will hate about you. Let me tell you, it's be a little controversial.
I love it.
You want to know some of the fastest growing accounts? People that come out and say, in my opinion, the dumbest things ever when they talk about being non-binary, when they talk about conspiracy theories, when they talk about the most off the wall things, and they're like, there's more than 2 genders, there's more than X, Y, and Z. You know how fast those accounts grow?
Probably huge.
So fast.
Because everyone's commenting on it.
Because there's so many people. You have 2 sides that feel like they're going to go to war with each other off of your post. Do that more. That's a good thing. Because then you're going to truly understand who aligns with your personal brand and who you can rely on. And you create not just somebody who's going to look at your account. The next post you do, they're not going to just look at your account, look at the thing and just scroll by. They're going to be like, I want to make sure, like, if I need to stand up for this person again, I'm flags in the air, guns blazing, whatever. You create true following. You create a true personal brand that makes influence. When somebody follows my account and they don't like me, my whole social media is made for you to spend time looking at me. I don't care if it's you looking at me and be like, oh, this guy sucks. Or if, man, Dusky's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That really changed. My goal isn't, I want this guy or this guy. The goal is I just want attention for that moment, because that helps me build and find the people that align themselves with me and my personal brand. And then we'll come and join and build my businesses together. That's what it is about personal branding. Start sharing everything about yourself, even the stuff other people hate.
Especially the stuff other people hate.
Especially the stuff.
That's what it sounds like. I don't go look for haters, but I think I'm going to start posting stuff that is just authentic, real to me, and that other people might not agree with. And that is just fine.
I think if you get in the mindset of haters will come, and the more haters that come, the more fans will come as well. The more you understand that and prepare yourself for it. I talk about it very bluntly, like, bring them on, I'm looking for them, all that stuff. No one actually really wants to be told that they're stupid. No one, I don't want to be told that. That hurt. It does hurt me in some sense. But when you start reaching a lot more people and understanding that beforehand, and you can be cold towards those things and understand that when you prepare yourself, then you can spend more time on the people that truly believe in your brand without sitting here and being like, no, that's not me. That's not who I am, right? Well, then now you're abusing the good that you could do in this world and helping people that really need you. Like, people need to understand that people need you in your business, need what you can do. And the better that you can understand that more of these people with sticks and stones are going to come and make them laughable, the more time that you can get the sticks and stones thrown at you and just help who you want to, help people grow, start new businesses, teach about personal branding, start a podcast, and really help people achieve something more. Because if you aren't working and building a personal brand for yourself so that you can start making more money and get ahead of the game, I'm going to tell you, in this next year, if you are not winning in some point, it's going to be hard to win after this next year at all. There's going to be such a divide between lower class and higher class that the mid class is going to just be lower. That gap is getting bigger and bigger every single day. If you don't make the jump quick, you and your generation is going to be there for a long time. Personal brand is what can help you make that jump. If you have a strong personal brand, you're almost ushered over to that. Not even talking about money. You'll just be put in the right rooms and money will come. When you chase money, it'll run. When you're in the right room with money, it'll show up in your pockets.
Dude, that's great. I used to get so butthurt when people would unfollow me on social media. Now I like it.
Yeah.
You know, because then I know people that are never going to buy from me, or people that don't jive with me and that aren't going to support what I'm doing are gone. I think that's something that like people need to keep in mind is like,
Absolutely.
a lot of people have small accounts. And so if you have
Absolutely.
1,000 followers and you lose one, like that might be a big deal for you.
Yeah.
But look at it as a good thing because they weren't going to be a buyer anyway.
Yeah. I fluctuate in like 200 followers every week consistently. Like all of a sudden I'll be at like 18.9 and then I'll be at 19.1 and then like 19. Literally, I just fluctuate like crazy. And any audience that you're willing to share with, there will always be people that leave the room. There will always be people that come in the room and stay, come in the room and leave, and people that were in the room that'll leave because your personal brand will develop over time. You will not just stay the same. You in 10 years will be totally different. So a lot of the people that were in the back rows are gonna leave. That happens with friends, right? People are always like, upgrade your friends. You know, your network is your net worth. Sure, it's true to an extent, but it's not like I'm going to go evaluate my friends. Like, let me get on my phone. I'm going to go through and be like, oh, this guy can't be my friend because he doesn't make that much money or he works at McDonald's. No. What happens is your friends that don't believe in you or your personal brand or believe in what you're trying to strive for, they will naturally leave the room. Your network is your net worth based off of your own personal brand showing progression and welcoming people into your room that can also elevate you. So if your brand does not have any part of it of learning and growth, well, guess what? You're not gonna make any more money. But at the same time, you have to have a piece of your brand that's like, hey, I'm not gonna chase after the people that leave the room. If I'm up on stage and I'm speaking to 1,000 people and one guy leaves the room, I have an option. I could run out of that room. Come sit down, come back to me. I need you. But what about everybody else that's there shouting you out?
Focus on the right people.
Focus on the people that are there.
Yeah.
Don't chase. In a relationship, no woman loves a man that comes and he's like, I'm a puppy. You tell me where to go and I'm going to do it, right? They want a man. They want a man to be like, hey, I'm here for you. I want you. I want you. I don't need you. Vice versa. It's that with your personal brand too. I want you. I want you to be with me. I want you to listen to me. I want to listen to you and grow. I don't need you.
Because if you're chasing people, it means they're walking away from you. Let's say most people on here have under 1,000 following. Can they still utilize their personal brand and their following to make more money right now?
I think people with under 1,000 followers are way more powerful with people that have 100,000 followers because that means that they actually went through the correct steps to build people that believe in them. I'll tell you something. It's funny. My wife has like 100 followers. I have 19,000 followers, right? There's points where I'm like, man, I get a lot of engagement. I get a lot of people that see it and stuff like that. But sometimes I'll post something on my story and then she'll post something on her story and it blows up because she has raving fans of like 1,400 people that are just like, I want to know everything that's going on in your life. Right? Mm-hmm. All the time. And then she sees them a lot too. I don't see 19,000 people that I know.
I think we could only keep track of a few hundred names.
Exactly. So people that have less on social media are the people I trust the most because they're building a real brand. And then you're going to hit something. It's going to be really cool. If you build a strong personal brand and you keep on it, one day it's going to snap and you're just going to go, because if you're consistent, you're just going to blow up. And then all of a sudden you have all these raging fans that are just there for you. And it's going to be 1,000 or it's going to be 2,000 or 5,000 or all these people that really, really want you. Somebody who's doing this right now, I want you to go to his social media at @thegrizz_. He's a videographer. He had 1,000 followers. He would just start being consistent in his personal brand. And I think it's like in 7 days, he's at like 6,000 followers.
Holy crap. That's insane.
Not buying anything. He's not using a growth platform, nothing. All he was authentic to himself, posted some reels. People loved those reels and they shared them with other people. And now he has authentic people that love him, right? Look at the guys with millions of followers. Look at the difference in how much reach they have now compared to what they had 2 years ago. Let me just tell you, it's not because of social media. It's not because of Instagram. It's because no one gives a crap about them anymore. It's because they need new blood. They want the new brands. They want the new things. They want a connection. Like you. If you offered me something, I'd rather go with you than go with Kim Kardashian. Well, now what happens if you blow up? And now all these people are like, well, I know him and I know he can be trusted. Your influence, even though your numbers are smaller, are much larger because your personal brand shows inclusion and trust.
Yeah, I've heard that micro influencers are doing better now than ever before.
Way better. Way better. Man, if I could restart my social media, I would.
So what would you do different this time around? Because that's what people who are listening probably need to start doing.
Do this. I'm actually gonna give you step by step. And I'm gonna say, do this for 30 days. Okay. When you're listening to this, if you do this tomorrow, 30 days, I want you to go on a walk, okay, for 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And I want you to film yourself on your phone. It doesn't matter what you don't have to be all put together, nothing. Just go on a walk, freaking put a hoodie on, put a hat on, doesn't matter. And tell your opinion about something that you woke up this morning. It could be how pissed you are at your husband that he woke you up this morning for a minute. Do it for under 2 minutes. Let's set that. So tomorrow you're going to go on a walk for 10, 15 minutes. 2 minutes of that, you're going to share on your phone what personal opinion about something and a thought. Could be from a book, anything. Post it on social media. Put a one-liner in your thing. No hashtags, nothing. Do that for 30 days. You'll blow up. It could be about how much your kids annoy the shit out of you. I don't care. It could be about you stepping on a rock. Do that for 30 days. Do not miss a day. 30 days. You will change. Your social media change. Your personal brand will change. And you're going to have a lot more ideas. If you don't see anything, message me. I'll Venmo you $25 for your time. Put that as a promise on here. If we don't see any changes, and I'll go through your social media, I'll make sure it's consistent, and I'll promise you that you're going to see a huge change.
There's one question I want to answer because this is something that runs through a lot of people's minds that I've talked to. It's buying followers. Does buying followers help us or hurt us?
Hurts us. I think that everyone knows that. I'll put this in a very PG format. Do you love kissing your hand or kissing a girl?
Girl.
Well, buying followers is like kissing your hand. Gaining followers is like kissing a girl. It's self-gratification. If people see you kiss your hand in public, they're gonna be like, this guy's freaking weird. Like, you need to get over yourself. If you're buying followers, if you're buying views, if you're buying all these things, and you know who you are because I see you, because I keep track of you. A lot of people out there, they don't think I watch them, but I watch them. And that sometimes that's the reason why they aren't allowed on my stages when I do live events. They could have great messages. They could probably change the world. But the reason that they're not allowed on my stage is because they buy those things. And I've had to learn strategically how to watch that. I don't think you should buy followers, but you should do this to gain followers. On Instagram, there's a little thing on the bottom right of all your posts. Click it. It says boost. Boost it. Profile views. Shows you how many people it'll reach. Put money into it. It's going to cost you $100 anyway to get 10,000 fake people that's not going to change anything for your life. Put $100 in it. I do it. You know what you're paying for? You're paying to be put on a billboard in social media. So if you want to grow rapidly and you feel that you deserve more people to see what you have to share, rather than spending the money on fake self-gratification, how about you give your thing an opportunity to reach more people? Guess what? If you still pay for it and it doesn't reach very many people, well, that means what you shared probably wasn't worth sharing to them, not to like others, not to you. You should share. I'm just saying, like, maybe tomorrow's post might be a little better opportunity to share with more people.
What about, because it's all changed now as far as verification goes. You can buy it now.
Yeah.
You don't have to earn it. So should people pay their $14 whatever a month to get verified?
If you can, yes. I don't think it's really a self-gratification thing anymore. I think it helps to make sure that if you're providing a service, that scammers can't take advantage of your followers. My legal name isn't Dusky Rogue. And so, like, that's one of the things that I have that I'm going through and working with Instagram right now to get a blue check mark, because I can't pay the $14 just to verify. It doesn't match my ID. And so I have to get verified the old school way. But yes, absolutely. If you're providing a service, especially, pay for it, get verified. What it means is that the people that want to scam and be like you, they can't affect your followers, because they'll be like, hey, doesn't this guy have a blue check mark?
Well, especially if you ever cold DM someone, like they're going to see like, okay, this is a real person that's DMing me. And I think it also puts you at like the top of the list because you are verified.
Yes. And it also doesn't allow you to go into their spam filter, just their requests.
Yeah. Do you have any last advice for everybody on building a personal brand to grow their business?
If you want to make $10,000 a month, you'll do it with your personal brand. You will not do it with anything else. I don't care how good you are at phone calls. I don't care how good you are at cleaning windows. I don't care how good you are at window tinting, wrapping cars, any of those things. Your personal brand will make you $10,000 in profit every single month. If you understand that, you won't just make 10,000, you'll make millions.
Well, Dusky, thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it.
It's been awesome.
Yeah. If you'd like to get in contact with Dusky, you can do that by going to his website, duskyrogue.com, and there will be a contact form that you could fill out where Dusky will personally contact you. Not one of his employees, it'll be Dusky. And if you want more information on him or this topic or anything that we do here at Utah Hustlers, visit our website, utahhustlers.com. All the links are down in the show notes. Well, that is it for this episode of Utah Hustlers. If you felt like this episode was valuable to you, hey, it'll probably be valuable to someone else. So if you'd like to help out the podcast grow, because word of mouth is the main way we grow, share it to a friend, family member, colleague, anybody that you know that could use this information to build their business. And as always, it's not just about knowing what to do, it's about taking the required action. Until next time, keep building.